It took all of that time to do all of this editing, boy. She does hours of editing. It don't feel like hours when I'm doing. Like I said, this shit is enjoyment for me. And you don't freaking understand. Like, well, they'll never understand because these are the same people who was claimed that they knew things about me. Ain't know a goddamn pinner nigga, fucking nigga shit. Just saying. I don't give a fuck. Shit, I've been called by nigger by my own family, and I'm not talking about nigga. What up, my nigga? I ain't talking about that. My own dark motherfuckers darker than me calling me nigger. With a twang at the end of that motherfucker. yeah, they sure the fuck deep betrayable since, you know, we have heel factors. I got used to it, so being called a nigger in front of by my own family, it prepared me for being called a nigger by the other people. It really did. It really did. I can tell you, when I was married to Shyla Cover, and her family was wildly racist. They were so racist that they were telling me that in their time, a person of darker complexion's first name was their last name because their first name was represented by the word nigga blank. I knew these people for over 10 motherfucking years. That's how serious I am about that shit. Just like I was telling people, ladies and gentlemen, if my own family, if they could, them motherfuckers would tie me up to a fucking tree with a rope around my neck. My own family. Dead serious. Confirmation hit somewhere. Look, see? Confirmation somewhere. Check this out. And since we already added, shoot. Look. Oh, man, I ain't even look at the card. That shit says sharp insight on the confirmation. Fuck it, let's play this video. I was just gonna do a fucking random.
Multiple people feel like whatever you got going on right now is a good look. It's a good look. Whatever it is you are doing on a daily basis, whether that be what you're doing for work, however it is you've rebranded yourself, however you dress, however you groom yourself, however it is that you present yourself, you express yourself, all the above. Somebody feels like it is a very good look for you. Where in the past you may have not been in the best energy, you have bossed up, and it's undeniable to somebody.
When you got that glow,
it's undeniable that
you feel the wonder. Got that glow.
That is always the energy that
the power stuff when you got that glow.
Right?
And the power of elevation. Right there. Look, 9-9. Come on, I'm done.
Like, where the fuck did this come from? How did this version of this person just emerge out of nowhere? But the truth is that is who you are. It's who you are. It's who you naturally are. You are naturally that person. Somebody feels...
So then you can stop that. So if it, like he said, I was naturally that person. So how could people be so shocked? But you said you know me. You didn't know this part. Now you understand. So away from me, evildoers. I never knew you. But I'm serious about what the fuck I said, bro. How you gonna be? I don't even know what the fuck you call that shit. If you racist against your own kind, so to speak, what the fuck does that mean? Is that where prejudice comes in? Some sick satanic thing? Because I'm telling you, my own family was calling me as if it was somebody of another race, the N-word, as if I was that. As if they didn't look in the mirror and saw their own skin tone. That's serious. So then when I came across people who didn't have the skin tone like freaking, like my family, I looked at them like, huh? They almost had me make me look at like I had orange skin or my skin was green or some shit. It was like, shit. That right then and there as a kid, that shit made me think, I must not be from here. I'm dead fucking serious. And it seems like shit. 40 years I've been around people who like to address me as the word nigger. Blows my fucking mind. Because I know the word nigger means more than what they're trying to portray. I also know that it means king. I also know that it means cigarette. I also know that it means ignorant. So if you are what you put out, are they just referencing themselves? Well, of course they are to a certain extent. But to say that shit to me, it gets me because, you know, I'm starting to realize that shit. Like it said on the confirmation, if my family could, they would noose me as if they were members of the KKK, as black as fucking midnight, would want to tie a rope around my neck and hang me by the tree, being darker than me. We telling you the truth. That's why everybody else is going to see that. They're going to see just how much hatred a person could have for another person doing, and while it's all misguided. Because they can't tell you why. And just saying because he's a nigger is not a goddamn reason to be like, I don't like the person. Because people who think that they don't like me, guess what? I don't like you 1,000 times more. And my reason for not liking you will be way more justified instead of using one word besides the word no. Dead serious. This is what my family is like. And they're darker than me. I could show you pictures. I think they like saying the word. I think it titillates their tongue. Because like I said, my family was freaking born. I was raised by witches and warlocks. They literally, because I'm telling you the truth, they literally worship two masters. Well, they couldn't worship two masters. They pretend that they are in with God, but they don't worship God. People who mess with little kids and then turn around saying that they love God, something wrong with them. This is why they put me in a competition. For my own stuff. It's like being in wacky races. Hey, Dave Chappelle did a freaking skit, right? Where there was a blind little black boy, right? And it was a skit from Dave Chappelle, right? And he was supposed to be, everybody knew he was dark but him, and portrayed him as if he was one of them. But they wanted victory in this competition that they put me in that had to do with them that's having a loss because it had to do with money because of the sharp insight. So like I said, when people think that they can say insulting things to me, people, and this is through my opinion, black people, dark people, wherever the fuck you want to go, have way better insults than any other race. So when a person who ain't got that darkness in them try to insult me with a word, I already can come up with 10 better ones than what they just said to me, and I've done it. Now wait, is that the best you can do? Why? Because I was so used to my family doing that shit, I grew accustomed to learning how to do it back. But the love inside of my heart refrained me from doing it back, because if I wanted to, I could, but I didn't. And these are all straight up facts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. When I said something was wrong and is wrong with my family, I'm not talking about like breast cancer or colon cancer or the flu. I'm talking about something is wrong with my family. That you can't go to the doctor, get hooked up to a cord and get a diagnosis. I mean, you need an exorcism. You need holy water. Because when I say something is wrong with them, I totally mean it. And they're mad because we're talking about it. Well, who gives a fuck, right? They didn't give a shit about me. People think because you got a nice heart and a kind heart, which indeed I do. Why? Because it was a gift from God, that it's okay to do and say whatever they freaking well please and think they're going to keep doing it without any consequences. I'm at the point where somebody be like, hey, nigger, and I'll turn around and be like, where? Let's get him. Throw them motherfuckers off. Because if you being taught to be racist by black people against black people, I tell you what, I got a PhD in that shit. Let's do one more. How much time you got passed? That's already 11 minutes. Just sitting there, just shopping and shooting the shop. What came out? It came back out again, bro. We just put it back in the insight. So if anybody else is going through energy like this, like speak up against family incest, speak up any negative like that can come out of a person's mouth. Speak up against it, because the shit ain't right. And I guarantee you this, look, see, it leads you to hell. See, can't even make that shit up. Trying to put now these people who were doing all of this blah 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 blah. All these people that were they're gonna be in prison. Because he also said, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and you're gonna get exactly what if death and life is in the power of the tongue, and everybody who has pleasure in it is gonna eat the fruit of it. See now my family ain't too happy about opening up their mouth. See, even though they were attacking me. 40 years these people were doing this shit to me. All for money. And now they're going to have legal issues. Why? Because the money that they stole and the money that they hid has it has an attachment to murder. Cold cases that happened 20 years ago. And remember, the bird is the word, right? So like Bob Marley said, 3 little birds were by my doorstep singing sweet songs. What was one of the songs? Your family's a bunch of murderers. Your family stole from you. Holy shit, fucking fire. And the last song, they're not really your blood family. What? See, karma. Can't make it up. Because one day I sat in here just, doing what I do. And then I started looking at everybody's picture. And I started looking. And then I started looking at the people who had kids. 40 years passed, right? Generations, right? And I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't look like any of these motherfucking people. Not one person in that whole family do I have any resemblance. That would be called an impossibility. But guess what? I'm looking at all of their pictures. They all got similar features in one way, shape, or form. And you telling me one person compared to all of these people, I don't share any physical traits, features, or mannerisms. That ain't right, is it? Why is that? Because of the 3 little birds? I guarantee you it is. It's impossible. Out of all the people that's in this family, that I have no physical features, physical mannerisms, or even characteristics of any of them? That's not right. It's damn right impossible unless what? I was switched or somebody was not the father. Another reason why they attacked me. So 40 years, they all knew this. Everybody knew but me. 7697, let's see what that says before we stop that. 40 years, they all said this. Everybody knew but me. But when I looked at because I got a picture of as many of them as possible, even their kids who had kids, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at my baby pictures until I got bigger, until I am now, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I don't look like none of them. That's impossible. It's impossible. So 7697. It says a highly spiritual message reminding you to embrace your inner willpower to transition from a period of stagnation into a natural flow of success. You mean like thinking these people were actually family? That would be considered a form of stagnation if I ever saw one. Because that's 50 people who all knew. And they were willing to keep up a lie so that they can keep something that wasn't theirs. Because I looked at all the pictures, the kids' pictures, their kids' pictures. I looked at their baby pictures. And I mean like, no features, no characteristics. You telling me out of all of you, I look like none of you? That's impossible. It encourages you to trust your intelligence, face your personal truths, and use your gifts to serve others. If that's not what the fuck I'm doing, I don't no. And then there's your confirmation. See what I mean? It's because I know God gave me gifts and I'm using these gifts to help other people. And because of the family who was even racist against me are mad because I'm showing people that they were all liars. The whole family. The whole family. Like I said, people couldn't even imagine what it is to be like me and be able to go through this shit without having a meltdown. Jetson, you're fired type fucking meltdown. They would never be able to understand this. That's a lot of people for a lot of years, 4 decades of all collaborating together, knowing that none of them was actually related to me in the first place. None of them. It's impossible to have no features of anybody in a family that large. It's impossible. It would have to mean that somebody was lying about who the fuck my parents were. 40 years, and they knew it. It's not like they just finding out. They knew about it. So just saying something like, hey, nigger, is not going to fucking bother me. Calling me something else is not going to bother me. Why? Because I was raised in a place that did it on a continuous basis. As if you were breathing in and out, I was being fucked with. All the way up into the extent that it's still trying to have an effect on me 40 years later. But now that I realize ain't none of them my family, do you think I give a fuck? So then think about it, knowing that none of these people are my family, right? So then they go in front of these courts and stuff saying that my mental is unstable. If you held up a lie for 40 years, had everybody else do it, meaning they have to be contagious, right? What would that make the people who were saying this now? Wouldn't that make them mentally unstable? The whole lot of them. Just think about what I'm saying. The whole family came together to call you crazy And when you find out that you're actually, none of them are related to you, yet they were still trying to have you committed as if you were related to them, what would that look like in front of the fucking public? It looked like the cat's out of the bag, don't it?